Please, for the love of God, stop posting about your policies on your social media marketing platforms. Today, we're going to talk about why posting your policies is kind of indicating why your social media may not be working to draw in clients, what the common perception is and belief is around if I post my policies, what that's supposed to do, and really more importantly, a conversation about how to utilize social media for marketing purposes versus what most of you are doing or used to, which is using social media as a consumer. Big difference. So if this is your first time joining me, welcome. My name is Tara Walsh. I'm a business coach for beauty salons and beauty business owners. And we are diving into really, I think, which is a deeper conversation around utilizing social media for marketing for your business, because most of y'all are using it as if you were a consumer. And there needs to be a big distinction. And you may find some huge takeaways and ahas from this chat that's going to make your social media marketing much more effective to start to actually draw in clients. So this episode is inspired by a post that I didn't know was going to get so much conversation going, and I love it when it happens. And really, it was just kind of a quick little reel, stupid trending audio. You know, there's nothing to it. I think I'm just blinking in it. So if those of you that want to complicate marketing and think that it requires hours and hours, literally was staring at the camera, blinking like this. And we had a text over it that says, when business owners post their policies on their social media feeds. And obviously we wrote a caption to give context around it, but it has blown up, and yay. So don't overcomplicate your marketing. Just stare at a phone and blink and you're golden. There's your first tip. However, the main theme, most people agreed, but it's because they understand that when you post to social media as a business, it's marketing. Those that had a disagreement or are doing this type of thing where they're posting their policies show me that there is a lack of understanding about how to utilize marketing and looking at social media as a marketing channel. That's really the biggest distinction. And this is not to shame anybody. Look, if you haven't known it before, how would you know it? How would you learn this stuff if you've just never had an awareness around how to use social media to market your business? This is, I think, where we have the biggest complaints about social media, at least in my programs, of do I really have to be on social media? Social media is so toxic. It's just so heavy. I can't stand being on social media. It doesn't work. And all of that is because you're looking at it from the eyes of a consumer who's on the platform to consume the posts of what other people are doing. And that feels heavy because you're likely following people that make you feel a certain type of way that's not good. It's not good for your mental health. The comparisonitis game, the look at what that business is doing, I should be doing better. I follow all of these other lash artists or beauty businesses and look how amazing their work is. It's like a huge tool, if you're not careful with it, that can feel very heavy and shaming and just reiterate what's already going on in your head, which is probably a lot of negative self-talk. Episode for another day, but we got to nip that in the bud. When you start to look at the opportunity that is social media, and specifically I'm talking about Instagram because that is kind of the most, for business, that is the highest one. TikTok is kind of up and coming for businesses, but it's still more creating more awareness and virality as opposed to actually building relationships, which is what social media is meant to do. So if we look at social media just across both personal and professional use, the goal of it is to have a relationship built between people who are not in the same location. That's why it's called social media. Now, when you're using it for personal reasons, that is about the extent of the platform. Is that you are either being marketed to by other businesses and other business accounts that you follow, or you know the people or you want to know the people that you follow, whether it's friends, family, that hottie that left his Instagram handle on Tinder or whatever. But it's really just about getting eyes on you, trying to be seen. So it makes sense that you might utilize your personal social platforms to talk about things that interest you, things that you're passionate about, go on rants when you're wronged or you have a very strong opinion about something, and just kind of have a running stream of thought of whatever the heck comes to your brain, because chances are the people that would resonate with your viewpoint will agree with you, and that's very validating, which ultimately what's happening is you're getting a hit of dopamine in your brain which then makes you want to go back on it and do more of that stuff. That's kind of chemically what's happening. It's almost like a drug, right? It's like we get addicted to the instant gratification, other people validating us. It's also where it gets very polarizing and very scary when somebody disagrees with you very heavily or, calls you names. We call them trolls. That then sends cortisol and fear hormones running through your body, so you don't want to actually go on and show yourself on social media. Both of those things do not help you in marketing your business whatsoever. So we have to take all of that personal usage and personal meaning off the table when we become business owners, and we look at how can we most easily market our business. Anybody complaining about social media marketing and not wanting to do it is not looking at the massive opportunity and the low cost you have to reach hundreds, if not thousands of people locally to you to get your business in front of them. So if you're complaining about social media marketing at all, you are not looking at the opportunity. You're looking at what it's already costing you, which is likely a personal usage issue, rather than if your business needs marketing and your business needs clients, why not do something that's so easy to learn to just have a little bit of success? It doesn't have to be overcomplicated. In fact, I think most people overcomplicate social media marketing. Again, another conversation for another day. What I want you to do is look at how you're utilizing a social platform to market your business. So let's tie this back to posting about policies. Some of the comments that I got that I will read are likely, I think, the most common beliefs if you're not looking at your social media for marketing purposes. What is marketing? Marketing is basically building an audience of people who want what you have and selling them it. And the better your marketing is, the less selling you have to do. So you could also look at it as it's relationship building, right? It's building that know, like, and trust. It is making people aware that you offer whatever service you have, that it solves a very specific pain point and problem for a very specific audience, and you are the person that has the best solution possible for that specific pain point. Now, that's very broad, theory-based stuff. We can get into more specifics. But just as an example, if you offer lash services, chances are one of the pain points that you offer is morning routines taking a really long time, or having to cake on lots of mascara, or just feeling really tired, looking older, because as we age, our lashes and our hair gets thinner. It doesn't come back as quickly. Sometimes it grays out or gets faint and light. And so lashes can offer that fountain of youth look. Right? So the pain point is, I'm looking older. The solution is lashes make you look younger, right? Very, very simple and basic. So when we post something like policies, if that is something that you think is an okay thing to do, then you need to defend your position to me of how that particular post and that type of content makes you stand out against your competitors. How is that a unique advantage to you? Your policy specifically, how is that helping me as a customer make a decision on whether or not I should pick you or the girl down the street or Amazing Lash Studio or whoever else I'm comparing it to? Now here's some of the arguments. You ready for them? Well, my current clients follow me, and so I posted because I need them to know that I have a cancellation policy and it's going to be enforced from here forward. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Let's go with that. Okay. So we are posting for what? 20 clients? Maybe those of you that are really busy, like 50-ish clients. So we're looking at trying to reach an audience of 50 people when we have, I'm just going to pull a number out of a hat, 500 followers. Let's say you have 500 followers and you're trying to reach an audience of your 50 current clients. Well, chances are not all of your clients follow you. So let's cut this down to maybe 30 clients. Okay, out of 30 clients, are they on that day and somewhat around the time that you post in order for them to even see the post? Chances are probably not good, but we'll get down to 20. So maybe out of 50 clients, you have 20 that are like now the type of people that we want to see this post out of 500 followers. So already we have a very, very small percentage of our audience on social media that is actually the post is even relevant or addressed towards. Okay? So again, that's being very generous. We have something called the algorithm. You got to play the game. You got to play the algorithm game. What the algorithm does, just as Cliff's Notes, if you've never heard anybody talk about the algorithm, the sole purpose of the algorithm is to keep people on the platform longer. Why? Because Mark Zuckerberg, he's not a dummy, right? The whole purpose of a for-profit business such as Facebook and Instagram is to keep people on the platform longer. Why? So they can be exposed to more ads. So businesses who utilize ads can get in front of you and pay Instagram and Facebook more. because you're being exposed to ads. So hashtag algorithm, woohoo, that is the purpose of the algorithm. It is not to make your life more difficult. It is to make these companies more money, because that's how they make money, is through advertising. So when we have the algorithm at play, what happens with the algorithm? Again, a very oversimplified version of it is basically you post something and the algorithm tests your post with a very small percentage of your followers. And if they do not engage, that signals to the algorithm, this is not really a valuable or engaging piece of content. So therefore, it's not going to push it out to more followers' feeds, because already the small test section of people that do follow you didn't really engage with it. So the odds of a bigger audience engaging with that is very, very slim. Therefore, the algorithm's like, it's not keeping people on the platform. And there are hundreds of thousands of accounts all competing for space in your feed. And so it's going to prioritize putting things that are getting engagement, that are getting people to, watch a video or watch a reel or keep scrolling, the doom scroll. And so if your post is not relevant or valuable, it is not going to go out more. So organic reach, even with all of that in there, is roughly around 1 to 3%. And the smaller your account is, the higher the reach can be. But again, if we're only trying to target a very, very small portion of our total audience with a very specific post that doesn't actually help benefit their life or draw in new customers, then we're having a trouble even connecting with our current clients as it is. You know what the best way to communicate to your current clients is? That you don't even need social media and you can guarantee that they saw your policies and understand them? You have relational marketing already built in. You see them. You are in person with them. Why are we using a middleman or woman like social media to try and communicate something when we can have an actual face-to-face conversation? I can share what the policy is, get your confirmation that you understand it, so that if X happens, Y happens, and we don't have to have, well, didn't you see my post on Instagram 3 weeks ago? I posted about the cancellation. Sorry, Karen, you need to pay. Because what's that going to do? She's going to get pissed off because she didn't see it. You didn't communicate it to her, even though you think you did. And now she's getting charged. So what's she going to do? She's either going to file a, fraud alert on her card, or she's going to go leave you a bad review. How is that helping you grow your customer base? It's working against you. I would rather for sure your client understands your policies. So in your consultation with the first-time client, have the conversation about policies. Hey, and here's our policies. This is a win-win situation between me and you, so that I can make sure we've got enough time to get you the results that you want, and that the business can still continue to grow and serve and provide you with amazing services. So here, we're going to sit down and go through it. Even those of you, and we did have this comment of like, nobody ever reads the policies on the website, so I've got to put it elsewhere. Well, you are 100% correct. You are absolutely. How many of you read policies? How many of you read terms and conditions? How many of you have actually read the terms of use for Instagram to know what you can and cannot post? Who actually owns your content? None of y'all. I haven't even gone through it. I get the gist of it and I'm okay with it. But did you know there's actually terms of use that you agree to by having an account? That's why it's so funny when, Instagram and Mark Zuckerberg is sitting in front of the government of a bunch of people who just can't understand social media. And they're like, well, how do people opt out of using your stuff? And I'm like, they just don't log in. Because when you log in and create an account, you're agreeing to all of these things that you may or may not know about. So anyways, yes, you have to default to assume nobody knows your policies, unless you have had a face-to-face conversation. And even then, how many policies do you have? Chances are you have 5, 6, 10, 20. Some of you are a little overboard. You have 50. They're not going to remember all of them. And it is your burden and your benefit to communicate the policies first time they see you and any time after that it might make sense, or you update a policy or you change them. But you communicate that in person so you know that they have heard it. You can even have them sign the policies so you have a date and you can reference back to that. Hey, remember in January when you came for your first appointment, we went over the policies. I want to remind you of the policy again. I'll make an exception this one time, but just know from here forward, I will be enforcing the policy from here forward. Now we are on the same page, because here's what happens. If you don't communicate your policies in a clear way and there is money being exchanged or a penalty or a fee or a fine, oh, you best be giving clients a heads up long before there's ever an issue. That's a side conversation for how to manage policies. I have a free policies download I'm happy to share with you. Just go ahead and DM me, #policies. I'll send you that link. It's a free guide or free download of what are some recommended sample policies for you. Okay, back to social media marketing. So again, your argument that, well, my clients follow me, my clients see my stories. Cool, but that's not the most effective way to communicate with your current clients. In fact, your current clients should not be who you're focusing on at any point in your current marketing other than when you share testimonials and before and afters. Why? Because all of our marketing should be targeted towards new potential customers. Again, with your current clients, you already have relational marketing. If you want to upsell them, if you want to tell them about a discount, a promo, if you want to have them refer a friend, you have relationship marketing. You don't need social media marketing to communicate with them. Talk to them in person. Tell them about what's coming up, right? Don't utilize, yes, great. They see the post. But again, if you have an audience of like 500, even 200, what about the other, let's see, you got 200 followers. Let's say 50 of them are clients. What about the other 150 people? Can't you go out there and try and make a post that they would engage with, that they would think funny, entertaining, educational, promotions, urgency, scarcity marketing? All of your social media marketing, in fact, all of your marketing should be targeted towards potential customers and the pain points that they have that you can offer a solution to. So when we talk about posting on policies and why that's a bad idea, because in what world is your policies and your personal rant about how some client showed up late and from here forward, everybody's going to be charged no matter what, and the rant that you go on, how is that attracting a customer? In fact, it's doing the opposite. It's like, whoa, she's a little bit of a loose cannon. She seems to be having a digital hissy fit. I think my money's better spent over here where they're a little bit more professional, or whatever the assumption is. That's the difference between utilizing social media for personal use, where you can have a running stream of thought and just say whatever you need to say and get it out and have an opinion. But when it comes to marketing, it is about the client and potential client first and their pain points and their problems, not yours. Think about it. Think about your website. Think about your booking software. I see this a lot too. You're sending people from social media over to your booking software to go book an appointment. What's the first thing that most booking softwares have? Policies. That's the first thing. At the time somebody is ready to book, it's all bold, caps lock, in red, deposits required, like all of this, again, digital hissy fit at the time someone is ready to book. They're about to hand over the cash and you're like, well, first, before you do that, you need to know the terms of what it's going to be up in here. Good God, people. And I make light of this, but it's like, that's how I perceive it, because it's so common. It is so common. Do not make it difficult for people to book with you and buy from you. Use your social media for marketing purposes, which means that you are speaking to their specific pain point and their problem and offering them hope that you provide a solution. Come from a place of service on social media. How can I help you? How can I serve you? How can I show up for you? How can I make your life easier, better? That's what gets engagement going. That's what draws people into you, magnetizes them to you. That like, oh my God, she has helped me so much, or I love the work that she does. Man, I want to be that girl in that post. I want to be that after photo. Like, I want to be that person. Your policies do not make them want to be that person. They actually makes them want to stay as far away from you as possible. Doesn't mean that you should not have your policies communicated. However, there are other opportunities and much higher likelihood of them understanding the policies further down the journey. And I'm all for you having deposits. Yes, please. That weeds out the flaky people who aren't serious about the investment and who aren't committed to coming in to see you. Yes, all of that, but that doesn't belong on your marketing. Marketing is to draw in new clients. Marketing is to build relationship with potential customers, whether they book tomorrow or they book 6 months from now. They are keeping an eye on you so that when they are ready to book, you are front of mind. Posting consistently, whether that's once a week to start or 3 times a week or every day. Focusing on consistency is the next game. Learning what content to post out there so that people engage, so that more people can see your content is the game we play on social media marketing. Don't kick yourself in the butt and work backwards by posting something like policies. Question came up. What about posting your prices on social media? Same kind of thing. Here's the thing. I would be okay with you guys posting your prices on social media if any of you knew how to handle pricing objections. But chances are most of y'all struggle when somebody asks, how much do you charge? You give them your full set price and then they ghost you and you're like, what happened? I must be too expensive. Now, if you're offering a promotion or discount, cool, right? You can put the regular value on there and what the new price is, or how much percentage off or how many dollars off. That's fine. But what's the point of having prices on there? Get them to your website, because here's the thing is that most people are comparing you to whoever else is out there, right? Let's just call it, you've got 4 other competitors that they're considering you against, right? It's like you and then 2 or 3 or 3 or 4 other people. If you don't want to compete on price, I suggest not sharing your prices right off the bat in your marketing, unless you're the cheapest in town and that is a unique selling point to you. We are the cheapest in town. Come here, you'll get great allergies, and I don't know what you like. If you're positioning yourself as the cheapest in town, sure, that would be what you'd post about. But chances are most of you do not want to be the cheapest in town, and you don't want to compete in price, and you want to charge healthy, if not premium or luxury pricing. Therefore, the better you can sell to the pain point that you solve, the less price is the top factor that somebody is considering booking with you against, right? So your job in social media content for marketing is to make it very clear what's different between you and other people. So if it's not price point, or your price is higher, and that would be a reason why somebody may not book you right off the bat off a snap judgment, then we need to have other factors that we're educating our audience on. And like, here's what you need to consider when selecting a lash artist or a facialist or a hairstylist, right? Because if they're not given any other information, they're going to compare apples to apples. Who's the cheaper apple? I'm going to go with the cheaper apple, because why would I pay more to get the same thing? That's what's happening in the mind of your customer or your potential customer. So part of your educational content on social media can be what makes you different compared to all the other businesses out there. So now it's no longer an apples to apples comparison. It's apples to oranges. Well, would you prefer apples or would you prefer oranges? Sure, oranges cost more, but like, have you had orange juice? Have you had, with pulp? Have you had orange peel? I mean, like, you could go a whole bunch of different places of what makes you different, so you're not having this apples to apples comparison. That was a weird fruit analogy, but go with it. So you want to post your prices. Okay, you can test that out. But again, from a marketing standpoint, unless there is some sort of promotion or discount with a timeline or a deadline to it that creates urgency, it's called scarcity marketing. It's really effective. I don't know that we need to post our prices on our marketing. We have a whole episode, and this is what we teach to in the Lashpreneur Society, which is how we take business owners from overlooked to fully booked, about the marketing funnel. Social media is in the middle of the funnel. It's where relationship is built. The next step down in the funnel is to go to your website, where they can learn more about information about your business aside from just marketing educational content. They actually can go there to book the appointment and check the price point. But if you've done your job with marketing and you have created the demand of, she gets me, she understands me, oh my God, I want her work, her results are amazing, and that's discretionary. Just because your results don't look like somebody who's been doing it for 20 years who has the perfect Russian line doesn't mean a client doesn't want exactly what you got. Then they can look at the price point, but they'll already have the factors in their head of why you're different, why you're unique, why you're better at solving their pain point and their problem. And so price becomes less of a consideration. Also consider the fact, for those of you that are lash artists or even nail techs, you have a certain price point for the first appointment, but that's not really what they need to consider for their budget ongoing. Because the bread and butter of your business, and when you become fully booked, is because of fills and recurring appointments, which is much less expensive. But how many of y'all give the full set price right off the bat on social media and then wonder why clients ghost you? They may not have context or understanding that that's not what you pay every time. And the appointments aren't that long every time. We also have a course on that, on how to sell over DMs and texts and emails, that handles pricing objections. So if you guys want help, I am here to serve. All right. Gloss eyelash, gloss. You're coming back into the business. How do you recommend me marketing myself? Will you DM me and we'll have conversations about marketing? I wanted to really focus in on policies and social media. Happy to help you, especially if you've taken time off. But again, we teach to the marketing funnel. We have awareness level marketing. That's getting a bunch of eyes on your stuff. We have interest level marketing, which is where social media lives. That's where you build a relationship, that trust, that fun, that vibe. People don't want to see your policies. They want to see you. And then we have your desire level marketing, which is right before the booking happens, where they find out more information that they can't find on social media. Because look at how social media is positioned. If I started following you because I think you have beautiful work and I might want to become a customer, or it seems like you do the style that I want, how am I supposed to find out everything I need to know about your business to make a decision to book or not? What, go through the last 9 posts? Last 20 posts? If you looked at the last 9 to 20 posts of your social media, how comprehensive about your business would it help a client make a decision or not? Some of y'all, your 20th post back was probably a year or 2 ago. And then you're like, why isn't social media working? Or you like post 3 times in a day and then not for another month. That is not the most effective use of social media. It doesn't have to be complicated. It can be very simplified. In fact, I much prefer simple. I would much prefer you doing something that takes you 30 seconds or a minute over something that takes you 3 hours. But I want you to get bang for your buck. And with as fast-paced as social media can be, you don't need to be spending a whole lot of time on content creation to have an impact, to get clients messaging you, to get clients DMing you. The sales happen in the DMs. The relationship is built in the DMs. So I would prioritize getting people to ask you a question in DMs over anything else, because you can send a hyperlink to your booking software, to your website specifically on a page that you want them to read. DMs is where it's at. We do all of our conversations in the DMs. Yes, comments, and thank you for everybody who left a comment on this policies post video. But really the DMs is where the conversation and the in-depth education can happen, and you can specifically speak to that client's concerns, questions. You can talk about pricing. You can handle pricing objections, all leading them to go book. If you were just trying to be passive in your marketing, that's why it's not working. So that is my rant on why it's a big no-no to be posting about your policies, because it's not utilizing the platform for marketing. In fact, it is turning off potential clients because you're having a little bit of a digital hissy fit. Put your policies in a much better platform or way to communicate them. Yes, emails can go out once they've booked to list out the ones that they need to know prior to booking their appointment. Yes, they can check the box that they agree to terms and conditions, whether they've read them or not. It's still enforceable because they have checked it. So if anytime you get a client who submits a fraud report or whatever the charge thing is, you can send that to the bank that they did agree to your terms and conditions, and here's the checkbox. And then most importantly, the best place to communicate your policies is when the client has come in and you have their full undivided attention. And if they don't agree to your policies, then you don't deliver on the service. But you need to make sure that you are communicating face-to-face with the client to at least ensure that one time they've heard the policy. But we teach you being able to communicate policies consistently so that a client is never caught off guard, especially if they're going to get charged. That's how you get bad reviews. That's how you get people, filing fraudulent claims against your business and all this kind of stuff. And we want to minimize all of that happening. You have more control over communicating your policies than you think you do. All right, guys, if you have questions about running your business, hit me up in the DMs on Instagram. We answer all of our DMs unless you're trying to hit me up for tweezer manufacturing stuff, #not interested. Otherwise, if you want to learn more about marketing your business going from overlooked to fully booked, we do have a program called the Lashpreneur Society that we're happy to share with you about. You can DM me #society, and we'll tell you more about that program and how you might be able to join it. All right, have a good one.